Welcome, everybody, with another episode of our podcast. And today we are talking to Bryan Mills, the owner of the Step Back System. How are you doing, Bryan? Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me today, buddy. I'm very well, mate. I've just finished a workout, feeling fresh. No, I'm super pumped for today, mate. It's going to be a good show.
Cool. You're in the UK, right?
Yes, mate. So I'm just outside of Liverpool, probably about 20 minutes away from Liverpool.
How's the corona going on there?
Do you know what, mate? It's probably because I live in my office, like obviously just nice and cozy. I've not really felt the effects, but it is quite bad. We're still on lockdown, so I still can't go to the pub for a pint, which is a typical English thing to do. Yeah. So as soon as they open next month, I think maybe the month after, definitely getting out, seeing some friends and having a drink.
Yeah. I think a lot of people like looking out or wanting to do that as soon as possible. But I guess for your business as well as for mine, I mean, we are digital, so the impact of our businesses like Corona, do you feel that on your business? Does it have an impact?
We accelerated. Obviously, everybody was like, everyone had more free time. Everyone was like, well, everyone got a shake up, didn't they? They were like, well, hang on, my job isn't as safe as what it's been pretended to be all these years. So people have come into it like, right, well, actually, I need to figure out how to make money online. I need to figure out another income stream. So both obviously the coaching aspect and the agency, mate, they've both skyrocketed because there's more people online. We've got more eyeballs to our site, more eyeballs to our offer.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about your journey towards your coaching program that you have now. Where did it start? Where did it originate from, and how did you get there?
Okay, not a problem. Do you know what? I love telling this story because at 13 years old, I actually started coaching, but it was actually football or soccer, depending on where you are in the world. And I coached soccer for a decade, 10 years, right up until I was about 23. Just after I had my first child, and that's when it stopped. Obviously, the time went to him instead. But yeah, I coached soccer for that long. And do you know the feeling when you see someone carry out what you've taught them to do, it's successful, the smile on the face and the joy it actually brings them? There was no greater buzz, and I mean no greater buzz as a coach, even from such a young age. Obviously, had the child, and money then became a primary focus to provide as a natural father does. Ended up in corporate, learned a hell of a lot in corporate, like unbelievable amounts. How to protect my time, how to delegate, a lot. It was great. Up until it was like they had no sort of respect for my time, and I was helping out my dad's business on the side through marketing. Actually, I was helping his business. Like, how do we generate this or that or get a bit of eyeballs? And the bug just started again, and it's like, okay, well, I think we should do this, and we should coach you into this, and it just came flooding back me. So eventually, I decided corporate wasn't for me. I don't like the way they don't respect my time, because I'm literally 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'm done. Doesn't matter what you're doing, what you're telling me, what meeting I'm in. I'm up, I'm out, and I'm going home to see my kids. And so I was probably called a diva a little bit, because I was like, you ain't telling me what to do. My kids are priority. Adios. And I ended up back in business. I was like, right, okay, I need to get money so I can do my own thing. So I started an events company. That was great. First event, I was selling high ticket tables at $2,500, and I had 210 people there and made 24k profit off one event. So first going, not bad, but it wasn't. And this is where step back starts, and this is where the step back system really does start. I was like, I literally worked till 2 o'clock in the morning. I was hustling, I was grinding, I was dead on my feet. Me and one graphic designer literally ran the whole thing, got the whole thing together. And I was like, I actually stopped after I'd done that one event and made 24k profit, pounds as well, so really good money. I was like, this ain't for me. I was like, this is not scalable. This will not get me to a life of freedom. So the step back starts to come into play there. So the one element I loved was marketing. I absolutely loved driving traffic and sales and building the pages and really seeing what made people tick. So I built a marketing agency, and that's a lot more scalable. It's great. Obviously, it's still going, and I don't really have to do much. Obviously, the team do most of it. I just build the system, and the team run the system. Whether it's an automation, whether it's a process, I build it, they carry it out. And then the step back system really starts to take place at that point. And then I moved back into coaching. One client we had, he was like, yeah, okay, I know you're doing a done for me service. He's like, but can you give me a bit of coaching? So I was like, yeah, okay, not a problem, do it. And I remember getting a voice note off him, and I'll never, ever forget the voice note. I was stood in my kitchen, and it came through about 8:30 in the morning. And he was like, Bryan, you're an absolute genius. And you could hear the emotion in his voice. He was like, I've just done it. It's like, I've just closed the high ticket deal we've been talking about. He's like, I've made more this month than I have in so long. And I bounced around my kitchen, literally jumping for joy. I was like, I had goosebumps, the hairs just everywhere. And I was just so excited. I was like, that's the love. I was like, I've built a business that runs and automates. That's totally cool. I was like, but this is what I love. I was like, it just took me straight back to the coaching days when I was stood on the park with the kids. The kid would do a skill, and I was like, yes, it worked. It's done. And it just took, that love just came flooding back, and I went, this is what I need to do.
Cool. That's a cool story indeed. And I think that you hit it spot on. When people try to build something for themselves, they know that their 9-to-5 job is not really fulfilling, so they try to build something for themselves, but they often find themselves just creating another job for themselves, right? Instead of a business. You hear it all the time. They started, they're excited, but then they go work 60 hours a week, and yeah, they have a business or even a job for them, but they're not really able to step out or step back, like you say, to really make it a business, right? So in your experience, like, what is the first thing that you would implement or try to implement to get that first step back from your business?
Okay, great question. I love answering it. There's a couple of things that you said there that I thought was crucial. A lot of people start a business and end up with a self-created job. And that is all they do. They can't say, and you know what, mate? I say it all the time on podcast interviews now, and part of me hope he doesn't listen. My dad is exactly in that position. Like, he's built like a £1 million company, and he's had it for the last 7 years. He can't take 30 days off without the thing crashing. And it's probably because I'm his son. He probably doesn't listen, but yeah, he won't step back. And it's amazing how many people create a self-created job. And it's only when they get through burnout that they're like they realize, like, I'm lost in the woods. And this is one of the best ways to describe it. Like, a lot of people start a business and do two things. They don't have the end goal in mind. They do financially, but not lifestyle. And that is the crucial one that people miss out on. People don't build a lifestyle, or people shouldn't build a lifestyle around their business. They should build their business around a lifestyle. And that is two crucial different things. Like, a lot of people just go, right, let's go. And as you say, 60, 80, 90 hours a week, they're hustling and they're burning out, and they've got no lifestyle. And they then end up resenting and hating the job, or hating the business, and go back. Whereas if you actually plan and go, right, okay, this is how I want my lifestyle to be. This is the first point. How do I want to live? And I said very early on in our interview, it was like, I don't know whether it was beforehand. I was like, I don't work past 3 o'clock. My kids finish school at 3. So I turn from business owner to dad. And a lot of people are like, well, hang on, but there's clients to deal. I don't care. I'm dad from 3 p.m. So straight away, that's part of the lifestyle I've adopted and created, and people can't get me at that time. And that's because I was very adamant for such a young, like, as soon as my baby arrived, like, my dad was working away all the time when I grew up. I was like, that's not me. I am staying home, and I will be there all the time. So the 3 o'clock rule was then. That's when it was born. So it was part of the lifestyle, right? Okay, so you have to decide how you want your life to be first. Otherwise, how are you going to build a system? How are you going to build a business that keeps you happy if your lifestyle isn't what you want it to be?
Mm-hmm.
And that is more than just a monetary goal. It's absolutely everything. What time do you wake up in the morning? What you do during your day? As I said, obviously, 15 or 20 minutes before I came on here, I was working out middle of the day. Just, okay, cool. Obviously, got the boxing bag. And away I went, done 15 minutes, feel great because I can build that. That's part of my lifestyle. Whereas a lot of business owners just go, right, I need to create a business, or startup entrepreneurs, I need to create a business. Right, let's go. Let's just go build a business. And I'll worry about everything else later. Where you need to step back and go, actually, what's going to make me happy in life? What can I do in order to enjoy my life, whether it is going for a run in the morning, whether it is working anywhere in the world, like obviously a lot of online entrepreneurs want to do. But if they end up with a position where they're on meetings all the time, how are you going to enjoy the beautiful scenarios that you've decided to go to? So you've literally got to map out, well, what do I want? And then build a business around that. So people who are stuck in the woods, like where they've not done that, they've gone, right, I need to build a business, and they've ran. They've just gone for that. Right, okay. They've got the monetary goal in mind and they've just ran. People who are stuck in the woods, okay, you're not going to see it as much anymore because you can't see much in the woods, can you? It's dark, there's trees everywhere, it's tough. So you need to step back, you need to come back out the woods and go, right, okay, well, how do I get to that beach over there, the other side of the woods? How do I get to that beach? And start mapping out that, because that beach is your happiness and nothing else can replace it.
Yeah, exactly. And this is so powerful that you have to have like something in your mind, like what is your ideal day? How does it look like for you as a business owner? And what I always say is you have to build in those non-negotiables. So it can be for you, it's like stopping at 3 o'clock or having that workout in the middle of the day. For me as well. For me, a non-negotiable is I go running during lunch. I go running, and I do that every day. And whatever it is, I do not have meetings then, and people cannot contact me. I go for a run because I need that break in the middle of the day to be able to go lower in that day. So I tend to break it up. I go a little bit lower during the day, but at the middle of the day, I have like 2 hours where I just go for a run and I clear my mind, as well as in the morning as well. So, and having that in place really helps not getting burned out, because at least you set your time blocks that you can actually do your work, and you can look forward to something as well, I believe. So it's really powerful to have that in place for sure. Do you think that it's also a matter of, like, you call your program like that, like step back? Is it also a problem that most of the business owners don't know how to do that, don't know how to get a more broader view and can step back? They're like afraid of letting go, I would say.
I think it comes down to a lot of people now build personal brands, don't they? They build a personal brand, so they feel like because they are the face of the company and they are the personal brand, everything revolves around them. And they actually couldn't be further from the truth. I've literally just mapped out a process today. I think there's about 27, maybe 28 steps in this whole process. And I am involved in 2 of them. That's it. The rest is either automated or someone else is doing it. And it's so easy to actually create those systems. But people struggle to map out what that actually is. They just roll from one obstacle to one task, to one obstacle to one meeting. They actually struggle to go, well, everything can be processed. Everything can actually be written down in a flowchart, mapped out, and you can literally handpick where you need to be. Like, for instance, content marketing is a huge one, isn't it? Absolutely massive. Obviously for personal brands. And one of the things, and agency owners, because a lot of agency owners are the personal brand as well. But actually, if you concentrate on just creating the one piece of content, and the rest of the process, you don't actually have to be involved in, like, whatsoever. Like, obviously, we're going to do this podcast now, and obviously that's content for me. Done. Not a problem. My team will then create value post, create like 2-step post. They'll create audios. Like I'll probably have about a month's worth of content done just from showing up for 1 hour. Whereas a lot of people sit there on a Sunday night, don't they, and go, I've got to write 7 posts.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And indeed, you can make a system out of it. You just have to think about what are the steps that I need to do and who can do it better than me. Because, I mean, you have to do what you're good at. And the other stuff, try to delegate that out. Even if it looks or you think it's scary and you think you're the only one that can do it well, you're wrong, right?
100%, mate. Like, ironically, I like obviously part of my program is marketing. It's a heavy element to the step back system. So if you can't market, you haven't got a business. And ironically, I'm not the best marketer. Obviously, there's plenty of better marketers out there, even in my team. But obviously, it's part of the like I do one section of it, and the rest of the team go and absolutely smash it for me. Part of it's automated. Like from booking a call, for instance, for our talk show. I literally don't get involved until the actual talk show. The answer, all the questions are filled out, the graphics are created, everything's just moved into the right places, and I only have to get involved when it's time to show up and ask some questions.
Yeah, and that can really help, like remove the stress from you as a business owner. That you don't feel anymore like you have to do it all or you don't have time for anything anymore. If you know in the back of your head, okay, I've created this kind of piece of content and my team runs with it, just that idea already for me as well was like an eye-opener. It was like, oof, okay, I can really focus on the things that I should be focusing. And that itself, outsourcing itself or having a team itself is also a system. I think also a lot of people mistake a system for being only automated in tools or software, but your team is also part of the system, right?
100%, mate. And a lot of people say, like, is the step back system, is it just about outsourcing? Well, no, it's not. It really, really isn't. It's the third and final phase. It really, really is. Like, phase 1 is all about the process. Like, what does it actually look like? How do you get from A to B? How do you get from A to Z? And what does this process look like? And you map out multiple processes for multiple different things. And then it's the next bit, right? Okay, well, what can I automate? How can I make the automations happen? So we look for phase 2 trigger points. Like, what information is created by someone else that then can be moved elsewhere and that we don't have to do. So we remove, like, VAs are going to hate me because obviously we can remove a hell of a lot of admin tasks just by looking at the process and going, right, okay, well, actually, that could be automated, that could be automated. Based off for example, I built a process for our agency, and it was the onboarding process. And I remember before we built this, it was horrendous. Like, we'd take the payment, and then obviously someone would have to go manually do this, and this. And it worked out there was about 30 steps, like, within this onboarding process. And obviously it was a nightmare. Have we got this? Have we got that? And we condensed it. And out of those 30 steps, 26 of them are automated. Now, all based off that one purchase. So the minute that guy goes, yes, let's go, 26 steps of a 30-step onboarding process is now done. And it's amazing how much you can actually automate once you find the process, find the trigger point, and you can get rid of a lot of manual work. Then, only once that's happened, then you outsource the rest.
Yeah, exactly. And mapping it out is crucial. That's like the first step, right? How much time do you think on an average dad as a business owner you should spend on just mapping it out?
Do you know what? Did you say on an average day? Or just on average?
Yeah, on average, yeah. I mean, I ask this because I think a lot of business owners, again, think that this takes so much time, and we don't have time for that. We have to do a lot of other stuff, you know.
And that's because they're that far in their business with no processes, no systems, and no team. And that's why you've got no time. 1, because you don't protect it, and 2, you don't step back enough to map out something. Like, think about it. If you step back, and some of my processes took me all day, like 8 hours. Some processes have taken me an hour, depending on what it is and what steps are involved. And so it's a case of, like, for instance, I've literally this morning redone our talk show process, because there was a couple too many manual steps. So step back for an hour, reviewed it, went through it, right, okay, and now it's all done and dusted. I'm now only involved in 2 steps, and it took me an hour. But it's like, an hour out of my day. How am I going to take an hour out of my day? And it's like, well, think about it. Would you rather take an hour out of your day now, or continually do 30 minutes, like every single week, maybe 30 minutes to an hour every single week on this one task, and that you never get back? I've spent 1 hour today and gained days back. So it's all about the time trade-off. What's more valuable?
Yeah, and time is the most valuable asset that we have. I mean, there's only 24 hours a day. So if you're not able to protect that kind of a resource, let's say, then you got a problem for sure. And especially if people are thinking about scaling. I mean, there's a lot of businesses that are already doing fine, especially in these days. Digital marketing agencies are booming because of everybody is online. But going beyond a certain stage, that's where they have to think about, okay, scaling, how do you do that? And then leveraging your time is so important. If you look at your agency, what was the biggest challenge that you had to overcome, besides, of course, the systems part and the automation? But was it a mindset game, or was it like, okay, we need more team members? What was the biggest one for you to be able to continually scale your business?
Refining the fulfillment process, like shorten it down. And because obviously, if you don't, one thing, when we first started, like our agency, we would literally get a client, do the thing for the client, see you later, and that would be it. And we were literally just trying to hustle new clients all the time, and we just didn't even think about the retention. Do you know what? Because we were too busy hustling, we didn't even focus on the fulfillment. So our first few clients were probably poor in terms of what we gave them, what we delivered for them, probably awful. And a lot of agencies won't like to admit it, but a lot of agencies are probably the same. Their first few clients, what they delivered then compared to what they deliver now, it's worlds and worlds apart. So refining the fulfillment process so it doesn't take all the time. Like, it needs to be so smooth and automated as much as you can, and it just needs to be mapped out. Like, because if you don't get the fulfillment right, you can't retain the client. Retaining a client should be the number one focus the minute you sign a client. The minute you get that client on board, you've done the hard bit, you've done the sales call. It's like, right, okay, how can we wrap ourselves around this business so they never, ever leave us? And that then takes the pressure off every single month. The more clients you wrap around, the more clients you get monthly recurring revenue from, and obviously fulfill to a good standard. That takes the pressure off and gives you the scalability. You're not hustling every week. You're not hustling every month. I remember at one stage in our agency, it was like, we would literally get to the 20th and go, we need 3 new clients or we're screwed. And we just have to go and go. And go. Do you know, every month we've done it. But it was because we were too busy hustling. We weren't focusing on the fulfillment and refining the fulfillment process. Once we've done that, we've got no issues. No issues whatsoever. It's like, we can bring on as many clients as possible because we just know the system and the process is all mapped out, and we can just keep going and going and delivering successfully. Because the minute you deliver successfully for one task, the minute they need a new problem solving, you're the first person they come to.
Yeah.
And the amount of times we haven't had a product or we haven't had a service, and like, Bryan, we need this. Right, okay, cool, we'll do it. And we'll go and build the process, find the person to do the thing, and we've now got an extra income.
Yeah, amazing. And that's what a lot of people should go for, especially like retention of the customer is so important. And you can do this indeed with your fulfillment, setting it up right, and that you have the time actually to nurture your customers, not only fulfilling, but also nurturing the relationship, creating that relationship so they don't even want to leave you, right? How much of that, like nurturing your customer, How much would you say is having a good team an important factor into that?
It's huge. It really, really is huge, because you don't want to, although like you are the face, you don't want to be the number one, the only contact that person has with your business. Otherwise, you'll be a bottleneck. And the minute you're a bottleneck, there's no chance of scaling, because someone's always waiting on you. You have a day off, and it's like, well, the communications have stopped. Clients go, what's going on? So every team member you hire, communication has to be one of the biggest things. They should be able to go, right, I've got a problem. I need it solving. The client can solve it for me. Let's go and ask this question. Let's have that relationship with the client. And then they realize and they understand they're not just dealing with one person, they're dealing with 4 or 5 people. It may be housed all in the same place, so they're not getting bombarded emails. Like we use Slack and house all our clients in Slack. So they've got one channel where the constant communication is flowing, and it doesn't feel as overwhelming as, say, the copywriter emailing them for something, the funnel builder emailing them for something, the VSL person, like the designers, like instead of getting like 5, 6 emails, because when you look at 5, 6 emails, you go, oh, I've got loads to do here. Whereas if it's 5 little like text messages in Slack, it doesn't overwhelm the client as much. But them having the confidence and the communication ability is crucial, because they've got your fate, they've got your brand on your t-shirt. So they need to be able to communicate and represent you just as good as you represent yourself.
So really having that team in place is crucial there. Well, what do you look for if you're hiring those team members? What is your go-to method?
So the things I really, really look for is obviously communication, being able to have a conversation like this, nice and obviously chilled out. They're allowed to give me they're allowed to give me banter. They're allowed to like tell me I'm wrong. That's totally fine. So having that confidence in the communication. And then the number 2 thing is resourcefulness. They have to be resourceful. I do not want to hire a team member and then hold their hand asking or answering every 10, 20 questions a day. If you don't know the answer, the first place you look is Google. Then you look at YouTube. And if you can't find the answer, then come to me. But come to me with a potential solution, not just the problem.
So having a critical thinkers in your team is really crucial. Not
problem solvers are huge.
Yeah, exactly. And the communication part, I love that you say that as well. It's something also that especially in these days that I focus on as well, like having that structured communication, right? Internally and externally. Because like you said, you do not want that your team just bothers you every single minute for everything that they want to do. So it's about having that clear structured communication, the same place like Slack or something like that, where they can communicate, but they should expect also boundaries, or they should put some boundaries in place as well. How do you go about setting those kind of boundaries for your team? Do you talk to them? Is there like an onboarding phase for your team or your customers where you say, okay, this is our, let's say, agreement that we set up, and this is what the boundaries are, and this is what you can expect?
So obviously when we bring someone on, we go, right, okay, well, this is how we want you to work. This is the things we want you to do. And then we've got obviously a certain way of working, but that doesn't mean they can't come in with their own flair, their own creativity. It's like we have one-to-one meetings every month with the staff, and just to go, right, okay, open conversation, what's working, what's not. And having that, like if you want to tell me I'm not working, then totally cool. Tell me I'm not working and tell me how I can fix that for you. So having that open flow is critical, but at the right times and the right platforms. Don't be coming to me every single day going, oh, this isn't working. Build it up, create a list. Right, okay, Bryan, have you got time to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, cool, no problem. Let's sit down, let's get it working. The boundaries is you have to be able to make a decision, and that is you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Yes, it's my business, but I will give you permission to do X, Y, or Z. I'll give you permission to authorize this payment or authorize this. But obviously, you've got to build that trust, and you can't set all of your boundaries at once, because then there's no room. That it's an ever ongoing thing. Obviously, the more trust you get with them, the more stuff you'll be able to do or give them, the more stuff they want to do for you. And that, as that relationship grows, the boundaries will change. They will move slightly. The job title and the job description will stay the same, but what they can do within that job description and job task will fluctuate as the more they grow in.
Yeah, indeed, it's so important to have that set up already from within the beginning. What kind of a mindset do you think like an owner should need to allow this kind of setup with his team? Like I said, a lot of owners are a little bit scared to, I wouldn't say to onboard people, but they're scared that their team is not capable and they're stuck in micromanagement. What kind of mindset do you think is crucial, or what should they have, or what should they do to become a better leader at that point?
So for me, there's a couple of things, and this depending on how you look at it, I probably sound lazy. But the minute a task comes on my desk, it's like, right, okay, who can do that?
Yeah.
Who can do that? That isn't me. And as a business owner, you always need to be thinking, I shouldn't be doing the task. I should be managing and watching. So you need to get comfortable with losing control. Well, not losing control, but letting go. You have to get comfortable with letting go. Now, in terms of the anxiety that comes with letting go, that'll stem from a couple of places. One is, you haven't built the system correctly. You haven't built the system and the explanations to a degree that you're comfortable letting go. All our tasks, anything that needs to be done is housed in, we use Teamwork. It's like our software. And weekly tasks, monthly tasks, they're all there, they're all recorded. And there's a Loom video for every single task. And it's like, okay, well, this is exactly how you do the thing. And then obviously if there's any questions, right, okay, should we look at that? So on your reviews, your one-to-one reviews, is there any questions? Is there anything frequently coming up? Okay, maybe let's review the Loom video, recreate it, or put some more detail in the description. And now it's a case of, because I am a bit of a micromanager. My missus will tell you that. It's like, you hate letting go of control, which I do. But in the agency, it's like, and in my coaching business, it's like, well, no, you've got the recording, you've got the description, you've got when the task has to be done. Off you go. It's like, and that removes a lot of anxiety for me, for someone who doesn't like to let go of control. It's like, well, you've got everything you need. There's no need for you to come to me. What I did struggle to get to grips with is they are not going to do the task exactly like me. And I mean, like, the amount of times you breathe during that task, like to the micro element, they're not going to do everything exactly like you do, because they're not you. And that was a realization I had to get and be slapped in the face with a couple of times. The end result was the same. The end result sometimes was better, but it's like, yeah, but I asked you to do it like this. It's like 100% I followed your Loom video. I was like, but obviously there's this or this or this. Right, okay. And I didn't think like this, or I switched it round and I done it this, but the end result is exactly the same, and I followed your Loom video. So, right, okay, fair enough. And having that ability to understand you are unique, and so every person you bring on is not going to be a micro clone of you. So there is going to be variations. As long as the task gets done at the right timescales, in the right manner, it's okay. And it's okay not to micromanage that situation.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more than just letting go, right? Just letting them do the work, because eventually, if you want to step back, if you want them to do the job, they will have to find a way to do it. You can have the perfect process, but if they do it another way with the same result, then that becomes the process, right? And you cannot keep control of that. So great. So for you, Bryan, like the coming months, what does it look like?
Well, hopefully out of lockdown. Do you know what I mean? It just looks like continuing to serve and help as many business owners get out of the self-created job. And that is crucial for me, mate. So the more people I can help do that within my group coaching program, the better. The more business owners I can actually stop going back to the 9 to 5 because it's less hassle, the better. Because obviously that is not where you want to be. It's not what you enjoy. Your life, we're not born to be put in a cage, and we're not born to be told what to do. We have our own unique way of thinking. We have our unique lifestyle we want. And you don't have to accept anything in life if you choose not to. So you don't have to accept that 9 to 5. You don't have to accept this failure. You don't have to accept a self-created job working 60 hours a week instead of 40 for someone else. Things can change if you choose to. And the more people I can help do that, and the more people I can actually step back, let them help. And 9 times out of 10, most of my clients are very similar to me. The parents, or they've got a family that they want to spend time with, or they've got goals. It's like the more people I can help achieve their goals and spend time with the people they love, the happier I'm going to be.
Cool. So where can people find you online?
So the best place to find me is either just come and message me. So Bryan Mills, just come and find me and obviously message my profile. I will answer. Or, of course, it's a step back system, or my VA will answer and let me know that there's a conversation that I need to speak with. So totally cool. Or you can go to my group. I do have a free group where I do a lot of talks. So the link is there. Thank you very much. Where I do a lot of talks, a lot of shows, a lot of giving, a lot of value, as much as I can do to help you guys enjoy your business again, instead of turn your business or your self-created job into a business.
Cool. So yeah, people that are interested in what Bryan does, here is the link for his group. Go check it out. And yeah, thank you, Bryan, for your time today. I wish you well. I hope you can get that pint as soon as possible. Then you can go out and drink something. And yeah, best of luck, and let's catch up later.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much for today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Bye-bye, everyone.